Do you lose focus? Fast? Of course you do. We all do. It's 2026. Your phone is basically a tiny screaming carnival in your pocket. Your email is a parade of people who need something like yesterday. Your brain jumps from one shiny thing to the next, like a squirrel on 3 espressos. It's loud out there. It's loud in here, in your head. But here's the thing, and it's good news, I promise. Focus isn't some magic gift. It's not something you're born with or without. It's a skill, and you can get better at it. You can train your brain to be calm, to be clear, to get things done. And we're starting right now with the first simple idea. All right, let's talk a little science. But don't worry, there's no quiz. It's simple. Inside your brain, you have a part that acts like a security guard. Its job is to decide what gets your attention. Let's call it your attention guard. This guard stands at the door of your mind and only lets in the important stuff. The task you need to do, the conversation you're having. But here's the problem. In our modern world, everything is shouting, "Hey, look at me, I'm important." Your phone buzzes. An email pops up. A car horn blares outside. Each one is a little guy trying to get past your guard. Your poor attention guard is overworked and tired. It's been on duty 24/7 with no coffee breaks. So what happens? It starts letting everybody in. The phone buzz, in you go. That random thought about needing to buy milk, come on in. The worry about tomorrow's meeting, the door is wide open. Suddenly your mind is a crowded party and you can't hear yourself think. The task you were trying to do is lost in the noise. This is why you feel scattered. It's not your fault. The world is designed to do this. So our job is not to yell at the guard. Our job is to help the guard. We need to give it some support and make its job easier. How do we do that? First, we reduce the number of things trying to get its attention. We create a calmer environment. Second, we train the guard to be stronger, better at saying no to the unimportant stuff. First things first, you can't fight an enemy you can't see. Identify the things stealing your focus. I call them focus thieves. These little criminals sneak in and rob you of time and mental peace. Some are obvious, some are sneaky. They can come from the outside world or from inside your own head. Knowing them is the first, most powerful step to taking back control. Like turning on the lights and seeing who's at that loud party in your mind. Let's do a quick experiment. It takes 1 minute, just one. Sit still. Look at a spot on your wall or close your eyes. For the next 60 seconds, do nothing but breathe. Don't try to empty your mind. Just notice what pulls you away. What thought pops up? What sound do you hear? Does your hand twitch to check your phone? Go ahead. Try it for 1 minute. I'll wait. Did you do it? What did you notice? Maybe you heard the fridge humming. Maybe you suddenly remembered you needed to send a text. Maybe a worry about work floated by. Or maybe your mind said, "This is silly, what am I doing?" Don't judge it, just notice. Write it down if you want. Make a list of your personal focus thieves. Notifications on your phone, open tabs on your computer, hunger, a noisy neighbor, your own creative ideas pulling you in a million directions. Once you have the list, you have power. If your phone is the thief, create a plan to deal with it. If random thoughts are the problem, have a notepad ready to capture them. You don't have to solve everything at once. Naming them already weakens them. You've told your attention guard, "See that guy? The Instagram-looking one? Don't let him in." This is your first win. Okay, you know who the bad guys are. Now what? You need to give your attention guard a very clear, very simple job. If you just tell your brain, "Okay, time to work," it's like telling a taxi driver, "Just drive." The driver will look at you and say, "Drive where?" Your brain needs a destination. It needs one clear, specific task to focus on. Not 5 tasks, not a vague project. One small thing. This is maybe the most important step in the whole process. Clarity is kindness to your brain. So before you start anything, take 30 seconds and define your target. Write it down on a piece of paper. Use simple, action-oriented words. Don't write "work on the report." That's too big, too vague. Your brain will panic. Instead, write something like, "Write the first paragraph of the report." Read 5 pages of the book. Answer the one email from Susan. See the difference. A clear target is a small win waiting to happen. Your brain loves finishing things. It gets a little burst of a happy chemical called dopamine. It says, "Hey, I did it," and it wants to do it again. This helps you fight procrastination too. Section 5. Step 3. The 20-minute focus timer. Now we get to the part where we actually do the work, but we're going to do it in a way that doesn't feel scary or overwhelming. We're going to use a timer. It's just a timer. We're going to set it for 20 minutes, not an hour, not 30 minutes, 20. Anyone can do something for 20 minutes, right? It's less than a sitcom. It's probably less time than you spent scrolling this morning. It's a small, manageable chunk of time. Here's the plan. You have your one clear task. You've cleared your space as much as you can. Now you set a timer for 20 minutes. You can use your phone, a kitchen timer, a website, whatever. During those 20 minutes, you have only one job to work on your chosen task. If your mind wanders, and it will, you gently guide it back. If you get an urge to check your email, you notice it and then you go back to your task. You are the boss. You just have to be the boss for 20 minutes. When the timer rings, you stop. I mean it, stop. Even if you're in the middle of a sentence, you've earned a break. Now you set the timer for 5 minutes. During this break, you get up, you stretch, you walk around, you get a glass of water, look out the window. Do not use this time to check your email or social media. That's not a real break. It's just another kind of work for your brain. The goal of the break is to let your mind rest and reset. This 20-minute work block and 5-minute break is one round. Why does this work so well? First, the 20-minute deadline creates a gentle sense of urgency. Second, it trains your brain's endurance. It's like interval training for your focus muscle. After 3 or 4 rounds, you can take a longer break. But start with just one 20-minute round. See how it feels. It's a small step, but it's a powerful one. Section 6. The power of rituals and breath. How you start is everything. Your brain loves cues. It loves signals that tell it what's about to happen. When you pick up your toothbrush, your brain knows it's time to brush your teeth. You don't have to think about it. We can use this same idea to create a focus switch. It signals to your brain, okay, party's over, time to get quiet, time to focus. Your ritual can be anything as long as it's short and easy. It could be taking one slow, deep breath. It could be taking a sip of water. It could be stretching your arms over your head. It could even be saying your task out loud. For example, for the next 20 minutes, I will write one email. By doing the same tiny thing every time, you build a powerful association in your brain. Over a few days, your brain will connect that ritual with the act of focusing. The ritual becomes the button you press to turn your focus on. Let's talk more about breath, because it's the most powerful tool you have, and it's always with you. When you're stressed or distracted, your breathing is often fast and shallow. This tells your nervous system that there's danger. But you can flip that switch. By slowing down your breath, you can tell your body and mind that everything is okay. It's safe to calm down, it's safe to focus. Here's a simple technique. It's called a physiological sigh, and it's one of the fastest ways to calm down. Take a deep breath in through your nose. At the top, take another little sip of air in. Then, a long, slow exhale through your mouth. Do that once or twice. Feel that? That's you taking control. Section 7. Fuel your focus. Body and mind connection. You can't build a strong house on a weak foundation. And for your brain, the foundation is your body. If your body isn't in a good place, your focus will suffer. It's that simple. We often think of focus as a purely mental thing, but it's deeply connected to your physical state. 3 big players: sleep, food, movement. Get these right, and you're giving your brain a massive head start. Ignore them, and you're trying to focus while running on empty. It's a battle you're going to lose. Let's start with the most important one: sleep. Sleep is when your brain cleans house. It washes away toxins. It organizes memories. It recharges its batteries. Aim for consistency. Go to bed and wake up around the same time each day. Keep your room cool, dark, and quiet. Turn off your screens at least an hour before bed. The blue light messes with sleep signals. Read a real book instead. Your focus will thank you tomorrow. Next, let's talk about fuel. The food you eat directly impacts your brain's function. A huge, heavy meal can make you sleepy and sluggish. A sugary snack gives a spike, then a crash. Aim for stable, long-lasting energy. Think brain foods, nuts, seeds, yogurt, eggs, fruits, vegetables. And water. Your brain is mostly water. Dehydration makes thinking fuzzy. Keep a bottle of water on your desk and sip throughout the day. Easy win for better focus. Finally, move your body. You don't have to run a marathon. A short 5-minute walk can work wonders. Movement increases blood flow to the brain. Oxygen and nutrients help you think. During 5-minute breaks between focus sessions, get up and walk. A quick lunchtime walk outside can reset your mind. Movement is a tool for better thinking. Section 8. Your daily focus plan. Putting it all together. This isn't a rigid set of rules, it's a flexible framework. Think of it as a recipe. You can adjust the ingredients to fit your life, your work, and your energy levels on any given day. The goal is to make it so easy to start that you can't say no. Remember, small, consistent wins are what build the focus habit. Let's make it concrete. Here is your simple focus plan. 1. Pick one task. Write it down. Make it specific. 2. Clear your space. Put your phone away. Close extra tabs. 3. Start your ritual. Take one deep breath. Say your task out loud. 4. Set a 20-minute timer. Start it and begin your task. 5. Work. When your mind drifts, notice it and gently come back. 6. Break. When the timer rings, stop and take a 5-minute real break. 7. Repeat. After 3 or 4 rounds, take a longer 15-minute break. It's about finding small pockets of time. Maybe in the morning, before you check any messages, you do one 20-minute focus round on your most important task. That's a huge win. Maybe you use it to tackle that one annoying task you've been putting off. 20 minutes, and it's done. Or block out an hour and a half and do 3 rounds. You'll be amazed at what you can get done. Section 9. Make it stick. Habits, buddies, and rewards. Willpower is like a battery that runs out. Build a system so it runs on autopilot. Make it rewarding. A podcast, 5 guilt-free scrolling minutes with a timer, or a nice tea. Track it. Draw a big X every day you do at least 1 round. Don't break the chain. Get a focus buddy. Text your task or hop on a quick call. Say goals, mute, work. Now it's your turn. I want you to take one thing from this video and try it today. Leave a comment below and tell me which tip you're going to try first. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next video. Share this with a friend who could use more focus. Be their focus buddy. And be sure to check out the pinned comment below. I've shared my absolute favorite tip, and I want you to reply with yours. Thanks for watching. Now go set that timer.